What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in this morning. Today what we got going on is I'm going to go over the top 5 reasons that I'm here at United Road. We got to go load some Volvos today, so stay tuned, watch that, and I will catch you guys with my top 5 reasons in a minute. Good morning, guys. We're just checking our load out here. I'm going to show you guys what that is. We got our load of Volvos on. Just making sure everything's sitting nice and pretty, but here's what we got on. We're gonna be delivering this today. This is Saturday, so we got 4 XC90s, actually 5, 2 XC40s, and an XC60. All right, so one of the first reasons that I came over here when I first started looking at getting out of being an owner-operator and becoming company driver, making my life a little easier, being able to get into other things, was I was looking for a company that I could make money at while having home time. That was probably one of the biggest deciding factors, because really at the end of the day, United Road's the only company I applied for. I didn't try to get in with any other companies. I knew from the get-go that I wanted to be over here. I've done a lot of work for United Road and with when I had my own company, and that was just one of the big deciding factors. Was I wanted a company that I would still be able to get home and see my family. Home time is probably the biggest or the most important thing to me. I mean, if I lost my home time, then realistically, if I couldn't find a company that was going to get me home time and I could make decent money working for, then I would probably come off the road completely and start doing other things. But the home time for me, that was my number one biggest deciding factor for coming over here. I haven't been let down yet. There are times where you have to stay out a little bit, and it is what it is. I mean, you're in the trucking industry. You can't expect everything to work out perfectly 100% of the time, but then again, that would be all industries in general. Number 2 reason for me of coming over here, and you'll realize pretty quick that there's probably a theme here. The number 2 biggest reason I came over to United Road is they have really good insurance. For me, they have really good insurance. I was looking for something that, obviously you guys know I got a big family and it's growing. We got another little one on its way. We are right now a family of 5, turning into a family of 6 very shortly here. We got one that's due the beginning part of June. Very excited about that. But if that's really loud, I'm sorry. All right, now that that's gotten a little quieter, I wanted to be able to provide my family with really good insurance that they were going to be able to use. Because when I was on my own, I forget the exact dollar figure now, but I think it was pretty close to like $1,500 to $2,000 a month for insurance for my family, and it didn't cover anything. I had like a $10,000 deductible, and that was literally the best that I was going to be able to get. So insurance was, other than home time and insurance, I mean, they're right there, 1 and 2, real close to being equal to each other. I wanted to be able to provide my family with insurance that they could use. So when my kid got a sniffle, got sick, I lost my load bar because I'm an idiot. It's on the other side. I wanted to provide them with insurance that they could use, that they were going to be able to, they got a sniffle, they got sick and stuff like that. We weren't deciding whether or not to take the kids to the doctor, because we knew that there was going to be a $150, $200 bill, because even though we had insurance, you really couldn't use it because of the fact that the deductible was so high that unless you paid out, unless someone really got sick and had to go to the hospital, the insurance was never going to kick in. So, oh heck, we had our first 2 kids on my insurance. It cost me $9,000 out of pocket. I think the insurance kicked in for like $1,500 of my wife's birth. So the insurance was a huge reason why I came over to United Road, because I'm on the most expensive insurance that they offer, which is the no deductible plan. So that way, when my kids get sick, if my wife thinks they need to go to the doctor, we're not discussing is it sick enough to go to the doctor or whether or not we can afford it. We just take our kids to the doctor. So that was number 2. That was the second biggest reason I came over here to United Road, so that my kids and wife would have the health care that they deserved and we could afford to do it. And I'll give you a quick rundown. These figures aren't going to be perfect because I don't know them 100%, but I think I'm paying just a tick over $400 a month for my health insurance, my dental, and vision insurance. So it's not bad, in my opinion anyways. I don't know what a lot of companies are, but when I was looking them up, a lot of companies that I found, their insurance is more expensive and you had a deductible. This is pretty cheap. I've got no deductible. My kids have the insurance they deserve. Number 3 biggest reason for coming over here to United Road for me was going to be the freedom. A lot of guys said that United Road runs a lot of their dispatching is non-forced. You kind of get to go where you want to go. There are times where you got to go places that you didn't really want to, because again, you got to look out for the company itself. Also, got to make sure everybody's profitable in this game we call work. That was a pretty big reason why I wanted to come over to United Road, was the freedom, the ability to pick and choose the type of freight you wanted to haul. Again, I'm hired through Kia, so for the most part, I try to get there as much as possible because I understand I'm one of their drivers, so I do also need to do my part, making sure my specific terminal is taken care of. But at the end of the day, 90% of the time, I'm not told where I'm going. My dispatcher turns around, lets me know where we have to take freight and whether or not there's loads in that area. So like, I know if I'm going to Ohio, I'm usually trying to get CarMax or Honda freight. If I'm going to Virginia, I know I'm usually trying to get Nissans out of Norfolk, Fords out of Petersburg, or heading up towards Baltimore and loading there, whether it's Mercedes, whether it's Mazda, Chrysler, these like this Volvo load that I'm hauling right here. And I try to get them coming back south. I really like the freedom that this company allows. I know there's a lot of companies that are out there, and I'm not going to say any names, but I've heard stories from other drivers that there's companies that it's mandatory you're working 6, 8, 10, 14 days out, 3 weeks out at a time before you're getting back home. That's not the lifestyle that I was looking for. One of the biggest reasons I picked United Road over any of the other companies. One of the reasons why this was the only company that I applied for. All right, while I lower all my decks down, the next one, number 4 for me, biggest reasons why I came over here to United Road is going to be the amount of work that United Road has. We are the largest car hauling company in the nation. We have a ton of work. The awesome part with having a ton of work like that is the ability that I don't have to deadhead hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles 90% of the time to my next load. Each load might not pay as high as some of the other companies out there. I don't know, because I don't know their rates personally, but at the end of the day, taking a $2,100 load someplace and then having 50 to 100 miles to your next $2,100 load is much better than taking a $3,500 load and having a full day's drive to your next $3,500 load. For that point, having all that extra work really helps out. Having all those extra yards where other companies might have 25, 30 yards nationwide, we have well over 100, it helps out. Plus, being as large as we are, it helps United Road get the remarketing type of freight because we have trucks everywhere. And by having trucks everywhere, that allows us to provide quicker service for companies that need a load taken halfway across the country quickly, much quicker than a lot of companies, because of the fact that a company doesn't need to wait 3, 4, 5 days for a truck to get across the country in order to get to that load. In all likelihood, we have a truck in the very near vicinity, so we can get right in there and get that load picked up for them. So being able to get all that remarketing freight on top of the new car freight, it helps us, the drivers, out tremendously when we get to an area where we don't have a yard nearby. A lot of times we have remarketing cars that we can turn around and go pick up, which gets us to a better location instead of having to sit and wait for a load to show up, or like I said, deadheading hundreds and hundreds of miles, or wasting an entire day of deadheading to get to your next load. So all that extra work, all the extra freight by having all those yards, really, for me and my mentality, I like to stay busy. I'm not one that is going to be good at calling my dispatcher on a Wednesday morning or being told. I'm not one that's going to be good at being told, well, go ahead and sit, let me see what I can figure out for you, and I'll get you a load here shortly. That's not how I like to work it. I like to know where my loads are coming from a day or two in advance, have an idea of what my week looks like before I start it, kind of thing. Having that extra work that United Road does really helps out in that aspect of keeping me sane, because my ADD does not allow me to sit around and wait. I go insane if I'm not busy. Therefore, the extra work that United Road has to offer, it's awesome to me. Lastly, for me, which is probably going to be the biggest reason for you guys, but actually wasn't for me, it was just the topping on the cake, was the pay and bonus structure that United Road has. That structure is absolutely fantastic. You get 25% of the load, which if you're doing, my goal is $8,000 to $10,000 a week to the truck and a 5-day work week. You're hitting that, you're making good $2,000 a week right there. On top of your $2,000 weekly check that you get by killing it and doing these loads out here and getting them off and hustling your butt off, on top of that, they give you a huge 4% a month bonus if you get over $22,000 a month. And in all honesty, in my opinion, you almost have to try to not put $22,000 a month on the ground in order to make it, because most of the time I shoot to have my $24,000 a month on the ground by my 3rd week of the month, and it's not hard to hit. You just gotta hustle. You can't screw around and dilly-dally in and out of places. So on top of your $2,000 a month, I shoot for a really close to $1,600, $1,200 to $1,600 a month monthly bonus on top of my $2,000 a week. So on top of that 4% bonus that that you get after you get to your $22,000 on the month, which that in and of itself is a pretty good bonus in my opinion. Again, there's probably companies that do better. For me, that's a great one for me with United Road here. On top of that bonus, we have a 1% safety bonus that if you are damage free for 6 months, that one kicks in, and that one again tends to be about a $1,600 bonus for me. My 6-month window, that's one that I really strive to knock out of the park. Then the last bonus that really starts to kick in, and I don't remember if it's 10% at 10 years or 9% at 10 years, but the longevity bonus, that one, if you're here for a while, that one can really start paying off. I'm hoping after 10 years, I'm gonna be having my longevity bonus getting real. That one's paid out quarterly. That's loud. One second. Okay, your longevity bonus is paid out quarterly, and that is however long you've been here, up to 10 years, which is where it maxes out, if I'm not mistaken. Again, don't quote me. This can all be looked up in your driver's manual. But that one, when it maxes out, you could very easily be doing an extra $7,000 to $10,000 a month on your longevity bonus. I mean, heck, in a 6-month window, you could really just max out your 401k and be done with it for the year. So that longevity bonus is huge to me. Like I said, the first 2 reasons are my biggest reasons I'm here, and the rest of them are just kind of. But guys, thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next one.